So my last interview this afternoon is Sam Shankland, and congratulations on your win against Sergei Karyakin.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm really glad to have beaten such a strong player.
Okay, obviously it's a two-game match, so there's still tomorrow's game, which you will be fast and furious for sure. Take us through the game today, and specifically this end game. Maybe FIDE was a decisive mistake, or what was happening there?
Yeah, so at first I think black has to be fine. I mean, I quickly looked at Sergei's black repertoire and understood I'm never going to be better, so I just sort of found this line. I wasn't expecting him to play with e5 and c6, but I just thought this position was playable. I mean, it's imbalanced pawn structure. I think black has to be fine, and I'm sure he's totally okay. I think the game went along somewhat normal channels. I was very surprised by knight b4, because after knight d4 I felt like I should just be better at it, and then he quickly went knight back to a6, but somehow I didn't manage to make anything happen. I felt like I was sort of slightly better, but then when he played f5, I was very surprised. I mean, this is a very committal move. I thought if he doesn't play this, sure, white's a little better, but it's very hard to make progress, and he can defend very resiliently. But once he's played f5, and I found this plan of bringing the king to c4 instead of the knight, it's very dangerous, because if he plays, he tried to bring the knight to e6, but I think this fails to the whole knight e3 b6 idea that I came up with. But if he instead had played for like counterplay with g5, I was ready to quickly go knight b3 a5 and take on c5. And so it's, I think it was just a very bad position at that point. Maybe he can save it, I don't know, but yeah, I managed to pull it out.
Yep. I was very impressed by your accurate calculation of the pawn ending. You knew it was won. From what moment?
Well, when I played bishop takes d4, I was calculating a lot of stuff, and the pawn ending was one of those things. And I was expecting him, instead of rook c8 check, to play a4, and then I was trying to figure out what was happening after knight c7 take, and then rook take bc7, rook c8, rook d7 check, king e6, rook g7, and say b5 check, and I will get a rook endgame with 2 extra pawns, but my king will be ridiculous. Yeah. And so I think it's winning, but it's not so clear. But I believe the pawn ending is just lost. I don't see what black can try.
Okay. Yeah, basically that's it. I was going to ask you about the opening, but you've already told us it wasn't a specific preparation, it was just to get a game.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I understood that it's just impossible to find an advantage in his repertoire. Magnus tried 6 times in the match and just failed every time. I mean, it's, he's incredibly solid with black, but I thought if I could imbalance the game and get, an equal position, but with some imbalance, maybe I can outplay him.
Okay. And finally, a fun stat, you hadn't played before, never. I even checked if you had blitz and rapid games. So this is actually the first time you played against him.
Yeah, so Karyakin and Topalov were the only 2 of the top 20 that I've basically never played. I mean, I don't get invited to super tournaments much. I played Tata Steel one year, but he wasn't there, and I'm playing Singfield Cup coming up, which should be great. But hopefully I'll get a rematch there, I guess.
Well, hopefully after this result, you'll start getting a few more invitations.
Well, that's the hope, but there's still a long way to go, and he's an incredibly powerful player. With the white pieces, I'm going to have to come back and hang on tomorrow.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.